different. It's not outside of the scope of nature paintings, but a little bit more ethereal and dreamy. If you're interested in the reference photo, it is going to be on the Discord and the link is in the description of the video. I'll give you a glimpse right here, and I'm just kind of loosely following the idea. It's a screenshot from forever ago in my phone, and I just was feeling that for tonight. So this is going to be Nature's Whispers number 22, and I'm glad that you joined me here. I'm gonna give you some loose instruction and some tips as we move through this painting, and I am gonna go ahead and try to do the method that I usually use with more traditional landscape scenes. Let's just see if it works. I'm just gonna go for it. This underpainting is going to be quinacridone nickel Azo gold, and it's the only one that I use that is in a liquid, a fluid acrylic. So I am going to keep in mind where the lights and the darks are in this reference photo, just to keep myself on track. The lighting, though, is mystical. It's mystical and fantasy lighting. So if I go off the rails, no one will know. The lightest parts are gonna be, now I added a moon, because why wouldn't you? I think the lightest parts are gonna be along these cloud edges, but only one side. And I'm gonna make it a little bit more centered in this area. So everything else is gonna go much darker. I think I promised to go get new tape today, and that didn't happen. So hopefully the tape peel goes well. If you were interested in seeing that, I post it in short format on the social media platform of your choice. Oh, I don't want to go over the moon. That got real close. How scary. I think this painting is going to come together pretty quickly. I'm going to try to keep it loose instead of tight and meticulous. But we have just enough of a plan. And the composition looks good. Gonna keep all the edges dark so that your eye doesn't trail off the painting. And I think what's gonna happen is the colors that I use might be a little bit more towards pastel. But we'll see. Okay, I think that's enough to work with. I think what I'm gonna do is the clouds first. I think. And then negative paint the sky in. Yeah, let's do that. Grabbing the magenta, some white, and some cerulean blue. It's right over where the gold was, so it's going to mute it a bit. More magenta. Okay, something like that would be good. I want to make sure some interesting texture is happening. I don't know what I'm going to keep and what I'm going to paint over quite yet. That's going to be it for that color. And I got some pink going. I'm going to use this just on the edges. Going to dry brush over the edges of each new layer. I think that'll help us out with the incorporation of all these colors. I think now I'm going to switch to a smaller brush. My small filbert. I'm fully anticipating on many layers of this technique, dry brushing and kind of smashing the paint towards the edges of the zones that need blending. That's going to be where this one takes a little bit of time. So I'm using layers to blend. But it does dry very quickly. Full concentration mode. This is going to be kind of tricky. I'm glad I chose it though, because it is going to be tricky. So I'm going to just hit it with layers until we get something successful. You got to remember when you're doing something like this, like even if it's dry and it's drying itself very quickly, dry brushing that is, you have to wait. As soon as it starts picking up, you just got to move on to something else and paint something else for a little while. Not very long at all, just a couple minutes makes all the difference. Dog is dreaming. Apologies. Okay, now it's going to be a little bit of a lighter purple, moving back away from the ethereal light source. And I'm just going to do like kind of all the scrubbing, kind of scrubbing it off. But it's like the movement is a clockwise turn and then a counterclockwise turn, like back and forth. It's like wax on, wax off. We can call it wax on, wax off. That's fine. But you go back and then forth instead of one direction so that it varies the brush strokes that you're making. And it also keeps you kind of in the same locale while you're working. Gotta be careful, I'm kind of backing into the next cloud. This one got a little bit lighter and I really am enjoying this tone over here on this side, so I'm just going to leave that just like it is and call that a happy accident. Love that color. I think we're going to go all the way to the edge with that color. You can tell already that all of these layers are building up a texture. I am using a filbert brush, scrubbing away. This corner though, I want it to be darker. This corner and this corner, maybe. At least this one. So I'm gonna put some ultramarine blue over here. With the magenta. It's real dark. Might take some of that away. And just really work on the edge. I did add some water to the brush real quick, just to increase the transparency on the edge there, where it blends into the purple color that we've already put down. I think it's time to let that dry. A little bit more of this color in the upper right. Not as much though. I'm not going to go as heavy with it. that paint is starting to lift up, so I'm just going to gently place some of it back and then move to a different area. Yeah. Okay. It's looking better. I think it might be time to just do the space area. I'm gonna grab a flat, so I'm gonna be cutting into the clouds, the cloud front. I might just use straight ultramarine blue for the corner here. Because just the ultramarine blue on the gold, it's really, really dark. And I'm gonna make it dark from here to here will be the darkest. And it's gonna need to be more than one layer. Ultramarine is a transparent color, and it's giving me some subtle green tones that I don't want, but that's okay. This piece is going to be very thick with paint by the time we're done with it. Just gonna make sure you're not leaving any giant blobs. That's gonna slow down your dry time. It is faster to do light, even coats than it is to like try to really layer it on thickly. It's almost impossible to get it even anyway if you're using something transparent, which most of the paint I use is transparent. Ultramarine is transparent. Quinacridone magenta is transparent. Cadmium yellow doesn't have much coverage at all. And then cadmium red, cerulean blue, pretty good coverage. White, obviously good coverage. But there's so much more dimension when you're layering. What I'm gonna do is I am going to go from cerulean blue to ultramarine blue, well, ultramarine blue to cerulean blue, closer to the edge, and then it's gonna get lighter, lighter. But I'm gonna have to switch to a much smaller brush for that. When I get in there. Okay, so on the stream you can see this is starting to come together and how many layers this is going to take. The ultramarine, I added just a little bit of magenta to it, and when you add the magenta to the ultramarine blue over that Ozo gold color, it gets very dark. That's the darkest value that I use for anything. So that is coming together, and I am going to be edging it in to the clouds with a little bit lighter blue, because in this ethereal scene that is almost a light source, I suppose. It's even lighter in here. We'll start up here though. Looks about right, and then I'm just going to blend back into this cerulean right here. Keeping in mind I need to change my brushstroke angle a lot. And that is because this is acrylic paint. We do not have super smooth blending, so that means you gotta use the brush strokes to be stylish. Or at least that's what I do. Don't chase the smooth blend in acrylic paint. It'll almost certainly look strange. Even people that do a good job, like they use the big buffer brush and do the whole thing. It's like usually a big expanse, and then they're not usually negative painting with that either. Because how would you be able to? Going a little bit lighter. Alright, that's going to need to dry. I'm going to go back to the filbert brush and work on some cloud texture while that sky settles itself. I'm going to overlap and underlap the areas that already have pink in there and the purple. If you're fast, you can change your edges with just a little bit of water. So just always have that handy. Something that's not completely saturated with the paint color would be good. Okay, I'm going to switch around colors as I see areas that need different tones. It's going to look kind of chaotic and random. think it was a little too dark in that corner, honestly. So that kind of brightened it up. Added a little bit of yellow to the blue and the white. That's going to soften this edge quite a bit as it transitions from a stronger yellow. At this point, you want to kind of stick to the same blending technique for the whole piece so that it's cohesive. This needs to dry again. I'm going to do a light horizontal brush stroke there, which scrapes the least amount of paint off an area. And then just let that chill because I want to add more white to that spot. But I need to be able to scrub it so to achieve the same vibe. This sky gradient I'm pretty happy with though, so I'm just going to leave that. I am pretty sure this inspiration pick was done in oils, since we're talking so much about blending, so this is a good exercise. In what we can achieve with some creativity. Gold color got a little, I don't want it to be too thick on there, so I'm going to switch to a point. I don't want to use it all the way, all the time. I definitely want it to sit on top, so. Keeping the front edge kind of a hard line, and I'm blending the back edge towards the rest of the cloud. I like that. It definitely pulls the intensity. The intensity pulls the eye, so I'm going to use it on this edge, which leads you up to that moon. And here. And I might put white over some of it in the other spots. Just here and there. Because I have to trail a little bit of the moon back onto the sky, just to give it, make it feel like the cloud is on in front of the sky. I don't want it to be completely negative painted on there. So I'm gonna, little whooshies are gonna explode out from our main cloud area. Not every brush stroke is maybe exactly what I wanted, but we're still in adding mode. When I am scrubbing with the point brush, it's on the side at a pretty extreme angle. I like that. That looks good. So I need to do that at least one other place. I'm thinking here. Maybe here and here. Like that white line adds a lot of interest to the area. It also guides you in a direction, which is nice. Pretty much done with the reference inspiration image at this point too, just by the way, as an aside. This cloud transitions into our space color, and that's what I was letting dry before, and I think it's pretty much dry now. I'm just going to scrub on some white with my point brush here, and I am going to let that dry again. I want that to be a really soft edge. Okay. Gonna grab some yellow and white and do some similar defining strokes at the edge of a cloud with this. A little bit of a difference between the gold and the white. It's in the middle. It's at this point that I want to make sure to cover any pencil that hasn't made it this far, which doesn't look like a lot. Okay. Maybe the moon, the ring around the moon. And then I can go back to the clouds again, because that'll be all pretty much dry. I might need like a really tiny brush for this. Tinier. There we go. This is a 3-0. See if I can wedge it to something useful. Okay. I've got a pretty good amount of water in the paint, so it is not going to cover up all of that yellow, which is fine. Scary, quick blend it before something horrible happens. Okay, now I'll come back to that in a little bit. What do I have to do with these clouds? I think I was gonna go back to some pink just for a little while. But not much. I feel like the pink is looking pretty balanced. And I'm not gonna be tempted to use the cheater pink, which is this little number. If you're using it just for prints, that's fine. Fades in the sun. I have used it. I wonder if it's going to fade on the things I used it on. I wouldn't use it on anything expensive, that's for sure. See, now there is so much color harmony and texture that you can just, at this point, throw colors on. Okay, that looks good. That's nice. Also, this technique of waxing on, waxing off looks a lot better when you're using a smooth thing to paint on. So you can really see what your brush strokes are doing. There's no competition with the texture of whatever it is, especially canvas. I feel like the bigger you paint on canvas, the smaller the grid gets. But then you lose a lot of the luminosity of the colors because with every divot that you have in your painting material, there is a highlight and a shadow that is muddying up the whole thing. So it's not my favorite, but for some reason I just keep on acquiring more and more canvases and I just can't get rid of them, so I'm like, well, I should paint on them. I should paint on them. Maybe just the big ones, I don't know. Okay, I love that. That's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted right there. As far as the cloud kind of like blurring into the sky. It's almost like it's misting out into there. Just like kind of like what this is doing, but different. This feels different, which is good. It's more direct. Okay, so I'm gonna do a fun thing. I think. We're gonna try doing some tap stars. That'll be fun to show also. So I'm gonna get a flat brush that has some firmer bristles. Like this one. It's a Catalyst by Princeton. It's pretty firm, it holds up very well. You could use it for acrylic and for oils. I don't think I would use it for watercolors, it's far too firm. So I am going to take a paper towel, and this is the one I have near me. Let's see if I can use it. Okay. I kind of rip shapes to cover up what I don't want to have stars on it. I think that's mostly dry. Doesn't have to be exact. It's better to add a star here and there than to subtract, which can be done. Hopefully I don't have to show that. You just always keep a clean brush and water at the ready, I'm telling you. Okay. That's how you want to prepare. That is fine. It's a little there. Okay, great. Now, what you want to do is add a decent amount of water. Not sopping, not like dripping, to your paint, and it's got to be heavy cream, I guess would be the viscosity that we're going for here. No, maybe that's just regular milk. It's regular milk. That'll do. I'm gonna load up both sides of your brush. And then you're gonna want something firm and rigid, like not just a wimpy paintbrush, but like something like substantial, like this. And I recommend this over all other splatter techniques. This has a more controlled spray to it, and it forces the paint more down so you don't get like these comet looking splatters. So call it tapping. I don't know. And it doesn't get all over the place. So that's also nice. You can just aim it a little bit better. Well, it did seem like I got some way over there when I was going for it over here. I feel like that is about right. Yeah, that feels good. Now we can remove these guys. That looks lovely. But there is a couple that are a little too close to that moon, or overlapping the moon, which doesn't work. So the way to remove those is just get a somewhat clean brush and just scrub them away. Because you can't have a star like right in the inside of the crescent, because that doesn't make any sense, because that's a shadowed moon. Get rid of that guy too. Okay, wiped him out. Nothing too close, nothing competing. I get to decide whether I want to make some of those stars have like little rays, but that's a pretty fine detail for something that size. A little bit more white detailing on that crescent. Do another layer on some of the wispies that I really like. Just doing some light lines for interest. A little bit more dimension in the clouds won't hurt. Let's see, how are we feeling about that? That's pretty dreamy. On that moon glow. Don't want to do too much to the sky now that the stars are in. It's pretty dangerous. Okay, if I give any of these stars little bursts, it's gonna have to be with the script brush, which ends up being the sharpest brush out of all of them. It's very, very, very tiny, and I'm gonna do it with a little bit of a yellow white, and it's gonna have a good amount of water in it, and that'll give the bristles more control and also make it not so opaque and abrasive. Okay, so I'm glad that I have my little sketch here, because I have since painted very much over what I was thinking about doing. Oh, it's so small. Okay, we can go up a little bit on the opacity there. If you can even see that at all. This is some very dainty work. This is why I don't go through a whole lot of paint. Between the wet palette and the painting technique, it takes me a long time to go through a tube of paint. It's very thrifty. Okay, I feel like that is visible enough. I don't want it to be too much. Planning on this one right here to be the most noticeable. So I made that out of the biggest splatter paint star. Okay, I might want to add a little bit more paint to this one now that it's dry. And then I really feel like we should do 3. I mean, right? Maybe out here, maybe a little bit more faint. This one? Yeah. So many decisions if you're not working off a reference. You're just going with the gut. I think that was a good choice. It's pretty. I think I'm gonna call this successful. Just looking really hard to make sure that I didn't miss anything that needs to be attended to. Yeah, I don't think so. I think that looks good. Okay. Toned down that big block of orange bit. Just a bit. Okay. I believe that is a wrap. So thank you for hanging out for this Nature's Whispers number 22, and I will see you on the next one.